can you compete? You can't, so I don't. I'm not that dumb. You know, special material is something written for a special occasion and usually for a superstar who can command that kind of attention. I'm not. But last summer, Alyce and I had the privilege to have dinner one evening with a marvelous couple who are very, very fine writers, Claire Whitaker Peterson and her husband Rod. In case you don't know, and some of you do, I'm sure, they were responsible for most of those great scripts on the Waltons. And, you know, tug at your heart, family fare. Well, it was about a couple of weeks later, Claire called Alyce. She said, I've got something that I've written that I would like to show to your husband. I've enjoyed the things he's read on the King family, and maybe this would be appropriate. Well, I can't tell you how thrilled I was, and how thrilled I am today to be able to read it for you at this time, and it's simply entitled, A Poem to be Spoken at Christmas. You know, it's funny. I'm hardly what you'd call a sentimental kind of guy. I work hard, play hard, take pride in always looking life straight in the eye. But something happens when the year starts turning toward December. I don't know. Looking homeward, feeling. I remember all those Christmases back to when I was a kid. And even on Christmas morning, chores were the first things we did. Dad was strict about that, though we'd all wheedle and plead. You'll get your presents soon enough, he'd say. But first, there's livestock to feed. Later, well, we'd unwrap the simple things we'd saved to buy or made. And Dad would smile. He didn't smile much. A pocket knife, or a jar of marmalade. And in the year I was 10, there was a red painted sled under the tree. And the snow coming down outside the window, boy, like it was meant just for that sled and me. I remember the Christmas I spent at college, all alone. Folks had scrimped to send me there, and they couldn't afford the bus fare home. When I called from a phone booth trying to sound cheerful, I certainly was not. Dad, he couldn't think of anything to say, just cleared his throat a lot. I started back to my room, and I'd never felt so low. Until I ran into a girl I knew. She'd dropped her purse in the snow. We got her things collected, and she asked me home with a shy kind of smile. Well, sir, that was the start of my first romance. Things didn't quite work out, but were sure nice for a while. And there was the Christmas I was bivouacked in the desert. It was during World War II. Oh, I miss my home. The crunch of snow, the cold that turns your fingers blue. My buddies and I, we tried to celebrate. We gathered around the piano and sang. It might have been a heavenly choir of angels, the way our voices rang. Then suddenly it came to me that Jesus was born in the desert town. And I went off by myself to watch Christmas break as the pale morning stars went down. And then there was the first Christmas back home in the city. The way the store windows sparkled and shone. And I wanted to get my Alyce a silken dress or a ring with a glittering stone. But, well, we were saving up to pay hospital bills, she being pregnant close to her time. So I had to settle for a poinsettia plant and talcum scented with lime. Just before dawn, she woke me. "A Christmas baby," she said. And her voice was light. But her nails dug deep into the palm of my hand as the long day dragged into Christmas night. And I read to her out of Luke, chapter 2, how Mary brought forth her firstborn son. By 9 o'clock, we had a healthy boy of our own, and she slept. It was done. Well, after that, the years just seemed to rush on by. Dad is gone now. The farm, long sold. And we're grandparents, Alyce and I. There are lots of Christmases behind us, and maybe not so many ahead, but this year, for the first time, the kids aren't coming home. No, sir. We're going to them instead. And let's face it, there'll come a day I won't be around to play Santa Claus. There must be that thought that's making me stop and look back on everything that was. Yes, the world will roll on without me, bringing Christmas around every year. And it's good knowing families will gather still to sing songs, to give gifts, draw near. And friends will hug and say, I love you. And neighbors will take time to call. Well, that's not all I have to say. Seems I went and got sentimental after all. Oh, yes, would you believe that Alyce found something up in the attic yesterday? My old sled. Alyce said she could never bear to throw it away, so I gave it a fresh coat of paint, and you ought to see how it glows. Gotta give it to my grandson this Christmas. Just turned 10. I sure hope it snows. Thank you.